Alright, so we're back at the layer greenhouse, and these are the chickens that are about to go into the egg mobile just as soon as I get that kind of retrofitted the way I want and it stops raining. So we're going to go on in here and we're going to take a look. You can see I put poultry netting around the entire greenhouse because I kind of think there's two kinds of chickens. There's the ones that have electric around them, and then there's the ones that are dead. So even though I put them in the greenhouse, I still put this poultry netting around them. And we try and keep this thing up around 8,000 volts in the fencing to try and, just deter pets and pests. And it's worked pretty well so far. So you got a lot of different styles of nesting boxes in here. Actually, we don't have a lot of. We have two. But one of the things we did in these nesting boxes here just late this year is we basically just kind of added a lip so that these boxes just have a higher lip on them, which all that really accomplishes is it just holds this straw, because if this lip is too low, they'll just take all this straw and they'll kick the whole thing out, which then your eggs are just sitting down on just hard wood. I need to raise that blocker because they just climb in over the top of it. It's pretty useless right now, but we'll put it back down just for grins. So what this is basically is just a wood chip floor, and they'll just dig through this and go through this. Right now it's pretty wet because we don't have a drainage ditch around this thing, which will be added this year. But they'll dig this up and go through it and re-go through it. So let's go back. We'll look at this real quick here. So this is how we water them. We've basically got a 200-gallon tank. It's just a cattle feeder or a cattle watering trough that's in here. It's got a piece of OSB over the top of it, and then we just covered it with hay bales. And so we have to fill that tank about once a week. And then we pump out of that tank with just a simple bilge pump, like for a boat. You can go to wherever and get one of those, and just a little power supply, and boom, you got water. So all this does is just keeps us being able to have water out here in a large amount without carrying it out in buckets, because you can't just run a hose out here when the temperature's in the single digits. The hose will freeze up. So you're carrying out buckets every day, lifting them over the fence, and your back hurts. And it's just funny how doing those types of repetitious things just eventually, they just wear you out. And it's just dumb when you can spend $100 and be done with it, and you don't have to deal with it anymore. So we've got, one of the things we're going to be doing in here is doing some better wiring. We've got these lights right now because we try and keep, it's 15 hours right now we're trying to keep on these birds in light. Soon they'll go off because there'll be enough daylight, but one of the things we've got is timers that just kick them on in the morning a little bit early, kick them on at night a little bit longer to keep that daylight going. A couple of feed bins. Let's see. I don't know. We've got a lot of different feeder styles, and I like this one because you can put a lot of feed in it. These other smaller ones we had when we had less birds, but they're just not very practical. They're not practical for the meat birds because they're not big enough. We gotta feed them. We gotta fill them like 3 times a day for our mobile coops because there's just too many birds in there. They're just not big enough. And then we built these rollout nesting boxes where the eggs come in, they roll to the back, and they fall through a hole, and they come out here in front. Really cool, awesome concept. They don't use them. So I know that if I probably took my other boxes out, they would probably use them. If I wanted to spend more time with them, they would probably use them. But when I put that taller lip on there, I could fill those things with straw. I got clean eggs, and I just kind of said, we're going to push this till next year and we'll figure it out then. And then at the back of the greenhouse, there's just one real small door that they kind of come in and out of, and that's what we open every day, and they'll just work their way in and out of there all day. At the end of the day, we shut it up because even though we got the electric around it, we don't want to take the chance of something getting over and getting in. Same way with these windows, we always shut those at night. And these are just real simple, like manual operated, just on a rope. Rope hangs on a screw, and you've got a little bit of ventilation, but not much. So one of the things we're going to be doing before our chicks move into here later this summer is we've got to get some ventilation going in here, because the natural ventilation just isn't enough. So even with the shade cloth on this thing, it's going to get way too hot for anything to be in here. So anyway, we're going to go check out the chicks next. And I think that's probably going to be the end of this kind of little flash tour.